The higher that I climb in my HR career, the lonelier that I feel. Now, those are the words that I've heard from so many HR leaders. And as somebody that worked in HR for over a decade, I really do get it. Because the conversations that we're having behind closed doors that most people don't know about are the kind of conversations that are dealing with real, raw human emotion. We're taking people through huge change initiatives, and we're dealing with the emotional fallout of that. We're spending days, potentially weeks, in redundancy consultations where we're having to share with individuals that at the end of this process, they may not have a job within the organisation anymore. And during those conversations, it can feel like we're absorbing the emotional fallout of that. We're absorbing people's emotional responses. It can feel like we're the emotional airbags in these situations. We've got people that are coming to us that are really struggling with their own mental health. And if we don't have the right infrastructure to be able to support people other than perhaps an occupational health scheme or an EAP scheme, then we might feel this sense of responsibility, this sense that I've got to do what I can to resolve this person's issues. We've got to resolve what's going on for them in their own life. And what if we've got things that are going on in our own life? Because we might work in HR, but we're also human. Maybe we've got challenges with our own children. Maybe we've got caring responsibilities for a parent. Maybe we are going through a really tricky patch in our marriage. Maybe we're going through a divorce. Maybe we've been single for 10 years. And if we don't have a place where we can feel supported, if we don't have somewhere that we can share what's going on with us, a place where you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel understood, then all of that creates a cumulative effect. It's a bit like having this huge backpack on your back with everybody else's stuff in it, everybody else's emotions, and it gets heavier and it gets heavier. And where do you put that down? And if you don't have somewhere to put that down and you continue to climb up the career ladder, you continue to feel more and more isolated, then it's not difficult to start to see how we can really start to experience burnout. And we might even start to question, is this a career that I want to stay in? Is this a profession that I want to stay in? Is it easier for me to just go and be a florist, get a job in Tesco's? And this is one of the reasons that I have created the HR Alchemy Circle. Because over the last 14 years, I have spent working as a psychotherapist and clinical hypnotherapist. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to create something for my old tribe. I wanted to create a new tribe, a place where HR leaders can come, they can be seen, they can be understood, a place where you get to have your own emotional needs met. Your needs met by people that really understand what it is to work in HR. Because here's the other thing that I've seen, having worked with so many HR people on a one-to-one level, is that when we don't have a place where we feel held, we feel emotionally supported, where we feel isolated, where we feel lonely, then we can also spend a lot more time in our thinking. We can internalize situations and start to judge ourselves, start to compare ourselves, start to question if we're good enough, that maybe I should have all my ducks in a row, maybe I should have my shit together, that maybe I'm just not cut out for this. We can start to experience imposter syndrome. It might be that we've been carrying this feeling of not feeling good enough for so long, but the more isolated and unsupported that we are, that can feel even more magnified. And so what I'm creating with the HR Alchemy Circle is not just a space where you get your emotional needs met, but also a space where you transform these beliefs, these sense of self that got developed before you even came into the world of HR. Because what I know from my own experience of working in HR was I showed up as somebody who truly felt like I had to prove myself. I had to prove my worth, that I had to be seen to be perfect, that I did struggle with comparison, with comparing myself. And what I learned when I came into the world of psychotherapy, when I started to study the human psyche, I could see that it wasn't enough to have a safe space to get our emotional needs met. But what was really going to move the needle, what was going to create real lasting change and transformation about how we're showing up, who we are being when we are doing, is a space that we can transform our sense of self. Because here's the thing, I have had countless conversations with HR leaders who've been vulnerable enough to share with me that who they are being when they are doing are people that compare themselves, are imposters, are people that feel that they're not good enough, they're not worthy, they're not valuable, they're not adequate, that they're always having to do something to prove that they belong, that they deserve a seat at the table. Who they're being when they're doing is a perfectionist, is doubting themselves, is judging themselves. And so what I have seen is that when we start to transform that sense of self, when we upgrade our sense of self, when we upgrade our identity to one where we fundamentally know that we are good enough, regardless of what's going on around us, when we are operating from a place of natural confidence, of calm, of clarity, and we also have a place where we can get our emotional needs met, well then that's where the magic happens. That's where we can be truly unstoppable, and in a way that it's not costing us our own mental health. So I'm really excited to share with you that the doors finally open to the HR Alchemy Circle in July. We're just in the middle of the pilot already, and I just cannot wait to share this with you. So you are welcome to book an initial consultation with me to find out exactly how the HR Alchemy Circle can support you in your HR role and can support you to transform who you're being when you're doing. So use the link below, book a free chat, and I really look forward to connecting with you very soon. Bye bye for now.